Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Switch Technologies Solid University 2022. My name is Manny Marquez. On this breakout session, we'll be going over Solid Edge electrical design, what's new. One of the enhancements they've done for electrical routing is a display color option here, where you are able to add a secondary color, right? So if you select the part, the wire here, you're able to add a secondary color. Not only that, but you should select the type of pattern, whether it's a single stripe, helical, zebra, dashed. So that's a really nice enhancement there. Additional functionality to the current route along surface command, they added support for edges and cylindrical faces filter. Physical conductor now shows an offset tangential to the surface so that it does not penetrate the surface. So in the past, whenever you selected that surface, half the wire was penetrated in the actual part. In some cases, you wouldn't see the difference because unless you really look really closely in there. So they added that additional functionality, which is really nice. Assign terminals from the assembly uh, in the electrical routing environment. This feature provides an option to make terminal assignment to an assembled component like a PLC, relay circuits, breakers, things like that. Another advantage of this feature is that if your terminals are defined already in the part level, its definition can be brought in an assembly level by just one click. So that's very optional, very nice option to see that before you had to go and open up the part at the part level and define it in there. So uh, streamline that process there. Browse to find it from Harness Wizard. So currently through the Harness Wizard, if you component naming came from CMP file matches with the component name assigned and part file, the file is populated in the assembly. If the part is not available initially, users download the part from the manufacturer's website and then import it into a CMP or CON files. And that's basically the workflow there. Now, this new feature provides an option to browse to 3D Find It in a Harness Wizard window so that a user can download the file directly from the portal using supplier part number. So very, very powerful tool there. Another enhancement they've done here is components, IDs, instances, names are unique identifiers in electrical to identify one component from another. Pathfinder matching is important if mechanical, electrical engineers are working on a common design independently. This feature provides the ability to in Solid Edge to replace or append the Pathfinder names with electrical components IDs coming from the intermediate file format. Also resolves the issues of manual assigning for multiple occurrences of the components. So really neat tool. So basically you see all those components in the wiring, and what it does is going to bring them over to the Pathfinder, which is another very, very nice tool. So currently throughout the harness reports, components and connections reports are saved separately. You can see them right here. Now you have the ability to now have a harness bomb option has been added to allow users to save a consolidate report containing components and connections information. Harness bomb reports, assembly, and piping reports cannot be saved as a CSV format. So that's another really nice functionality there. All right, so let's take a quick look. Let me go ahead and switch over to Solid Edge real quick here. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the first part right here. All right, so we have some examples here of some the wires here. So for example, let me go ahead and show that here. So I'm able to select that here. So if I select the wire here, wire 14, and I want to add, right now it's a single wire color, and I want to modify that. So I'll go to the options here. So right now it's still set as a primary color. If I wish to change it from the yellow, I could go back and change that to a different gauge as well if I wish to do that. Let me go ahead and try to do that. Let me go ahead and select the 18 gauge green. And the secondary color is going to be, let's see, red. Now that I have selected the secondary color, now it gives me the option to select a pattern type. You could have it as a single stripe, helical, zebra. Let me do a helical. Let's do a zebra. So I'll go ahead and do zebra and accept that. Finish. And now you see that. So now I have that nice secondary color there, which is what I represented what's in the real world out there. Okay, so that's that one right there. The next one is going to be, let me go ahead and close this one. All right, let me go to route along surface. All right, so like I stated earlier, right, if I look at it from this view right here, so you have the wire here, and it's actually right on the surface right here. So in the past, when you created a physical conductor, half the wire was penetrating on the part here. So what they've done here, they added that functionality. Now it's tangential to the surface. So let me go ahead and create a physical. Oh, I need to be in electrical routing there. Sorry about that. And I'm going to go ahead and try that again. So I'm going to go ahead and create the physical conductor there. And we go from that same view again. And if you notice here, there's a wire right there, the path there, and it goes right on the surface, but yet it doesn't penetrate the surface anymore. So it's a really nice enhancement there. Another thing they added here is the ability to, if I use the route along surface, they add additional functionality, some filters here that allow me to select an edge right here or cylindrical face. So I'll go ahead and select the edge here first, and I'm going to just select this right quick there. You can see that pointed right in there. That's fine. Just go ahead and finish that off there. And you can see it puts it right on the edge there. Now obviously I'm going to come back and create that physical conductor. There it is right there. All right, so the other one is if I go back and select this one right here, and obviously I want to go ahead and select that cylindrical surface there. The other option was to select the cylindrical face here. Now here's a thing that I want to just kind of point out here is, and I'll show the other option here, is if I go and select this right here, you can see it places it right in there. But in some cases, it might flip. I'm just going to point out that there is no option to flip that. So I kind of thought I'd make you aware that it's nice functionality, but if you want to use that other option, you could simply just go ahead and cancel here and go use a route. And then at that point, let me go ahead and potentially select this other. Oh, I think I selected, there you go. And you see that right here. See how it flips right there, depending which end I select. Um, and then if that is the case, then I just hit the F, and it just flips it over, and that's probably more convenient if you do run into a situation like that. So I thought I'd just point that out. I mean, you can go back and still use this one right here, and go back and select those surfaces and select the cylindrical, uh, and then select that. It just places it there, just still there, right? Like I said, I just thought I'd make you aware that the other option is the route, which does give you the option to flip that if you did come back and select the surface and it just give you that it rotate it. So you have the option to flip that. All right, let's see here. All right, so the next one is going to be, all right. So like I stated earlier in the PowerPoint, in the past, what you needed to do is go and open up that part and then go to the uh, tools and assign terminals there. And you click on the new, give it I don't know, and set that. And then you select the, you know, location where you want to place that terminal and say okay, and you're done. Right now, you go ahead now. I'm not going to save that. I could do that at the assembly level. So if I go to tools and assign terminals, right, you can see they're very somewhere already in there. And all I need to do is simply come back and click new and give it a, I don't know, something like that, and set where you want to place it, and you're good. All right, so just a time saver there. You could do that at the assembly level now. All right, so the next one is going to be, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up this other assembly here. And this is going to be the option to browse for that 3D Find It. But in order for me to do that, I'm going to go ahead and open up my solid edge here. I'm going to point out what is I'm going to do here. So I already have a instrument panel here. You can see them right here. And I'm going to point out that this component right here is not at the, excuse me, it is not, it does not exist at the assembly at the moment. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bridge out. So I make sure I get the right filter here. Yep, that's what I'm looking for here. And I'm going to go ahead and bridge it out. I'm already in connected too. Let me just check real quick here that I am. Yep, I am. All right, so I'm going to go back again and go ahead and, okay, great. And I'm going to switch back to solid edge, electrical routing. And you can see that I'm going to go ahead and do that. So what's going to happen here, a couple of things too. Also, I'm going to point out to be, if you look at the names here, the harness name, you got the gauges and so forth, right? So what's going to happen here is you have the ability to match the currencies from my solid edge wiring harness design. So if I go back to my options here, let me just point it out. You can see that my electrical here, there it is right here. So on the Pathfinder name, update with electrical components IDs, you want to go ahead and replace that. And that will match the currencies that are in the solid edge electrical wiring design. So it's kind of nice functionality there. So I'm gonna go ahead and update that. And you'll see that in a minute here when once I'm done with this whole thing, is that you will see the new names that are coming from my Solid Edge Electrical. All right. So one thing that I made a note of earlier on the PowerPoint is that this new functionality, right, where if you did not have it, it was not in there, like I pointed out earlier, on this right here, this component, right, this one, the ABS sensor. ABS, is that ABS? ABS sensor, yes. It's not in the assembly. So when you bring that in, obviously you need to go and browse for it. If you need to know where it was, or if you had it in maybe a different location, you need to go back and go and browse for that. Now, for 2022, we could browse to where you find it. So you click on that. You do need an account. So I'm already logged in. So you do also need to know the name of the component that you need to find. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. All right. And 225. Okay, so once I do that, hit enter to go and look for it. I found it right here. And the cool thing about this, then once you're in there, you can actually rotate it, look at it, preview it. If you wish, you want to section through it as well. If you want to kind of see how the internals are. It's just not a very complicated part. So once you've done that, you can say, yes, I want to go ahead and bring it in. I'll download it to my Solid Edge. And go ahead and click there. All right, now you see that it when appear there. Now you see there's the ABS sensor. And all I need to do is what I want to point out also, just keep an eye on these names here as well. So you got the LHRM18 part number there. So I'm still going to go click next. I still need to come back and assign a terminal here. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that. And I'm going to find that part right here. Go ahead and select the end there. Go ahead and do that. Try to get it right here. And then go here. Perfect. All right, so as soon as I click finish, like I stated earlier, I'm going to look at these names here, change here. So I'll go ahead, click finish, and there it is right there. You see that? Now you get ABS sensor, pressure gauge, battery health check, cable tie, and all that information that came from my 2D electrical, solid electrical. So very nice functionality. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you now both. I'm going to bring this in here and bring it right quick in there. You can see now, since I already have it on cross select, you can see that when I click on that, it highlights it over here my 2D, my solid electrical, or vice versa. When I click on it, it highlights it here. So very nice functionality. Um, so now let me go back to my here. Like I said earlier too, on the PowerPoint is they have also added the ability to have harness bomb, basically consolidate both of these into one here. And I believe that was it. So hope that these are new functionality will make it a lot much easier for you to work with the solid electrical and electrical routing. All right. So again, thank you. And if you need my contact information, here it is.